What I want to talk about today is homeowners and the decisions they make on who they're going to call for their service, whether it's electrical, plumbing, heating and air conditioning. There's companies that do it all. But, I'm outside Raleigh, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Durham. I don't live up here. I spend enough time in this hustle and bustle during the week. I live a little south of here out in the country where it's a little quieter. I get my fill of it up here during the week, but areas with high population, over 1 million, I guess, 1.5 million. I don't know roughly what's in this area just generally, but you get these companies that come in and set up shop and they have their heating and air. They're large national big box companies. Spend your money local. Find reputable, family owned, locally owned heating, plumbing, electrical, appliance. Keep that money here. Help the people that are here. Don't spend your money with these big box companies that are located in Texas and wherever, other states. And, CEOs have to be paid, the vice president, the CFOs, the vice president in charge of janitorial services, the vice president in charge of the vice president that's in charge of getting coffee, setting up tea times, and picking up the president's clothes from the cleaners. That's where that money goes. And they overcharge you for everything. But if you watch the local news around here in the morning, gosh, they're on for hours every day, seems like. Almost like they want to be national, some 24-hour news network. They're on for 3 hours in the evening from 4 to 6. Then they come on again at 7. And most of you know which one I'm talking about. They're on from 4 in the morning till 10 between two channels. And you know which one I'm talking about. I'm going to try not to say their name because they kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I've been watching them since I was growing up, and they're completely different than they were back then. Completely changed. And it's just amazing, mind-blowing. And I don't know. I almost can't get through a 30-minute broadcast. And that's a whole nother video, and it's coming. But the morning news, you watch it around here, and the commercial breaks are full of these heating and air conditioning commercials. Some of these companies are putting up 2 or 3 commercials in one commercial break. And it's just every commercial break. Bombarded. You're drawn in. All looks pretty. And that is prime real estate for advertising, number one. So I hope you know the money they get from that, or pay for all that advertising, is coming out of your pocket most of the time. Pretty much all the time, to tell you the truth. But just stay local. Do your business local. Do your research. Find local companies that are well reviewed, got a good reputation, references. Doesn't matter if it's a family-owned 10, 15 technician company. There's some of those around here. Down to the small, 2, 3, even a one-man. If they know what they're doing and they're qualified and they've got experience and they've got knowledge and they're going to do you right, you can't go wrong with that. These national companies don't care. There's 3 or 4 of them in this area that just blow the news networks up, especially the one over there off Western Boulevard here in Raleigh. The big Christmas lighting TV and the gardens and all that jazz. They're trying to be a 24-hour news network. I think there's a separate channel they have now that's nothing but news all day. It used to be sports. So I don't know what they're trying to do over there. It's ridiculous. Nobody needs that much news. I don't need 12 hours of local news. There's not enough stuff around here. It's just constantly repeating stories that you told an hour ago or a half hour ago over and over again. That's all you're doing. People are trying to get out of the house in the morning, and you give them a teaser for the weather. Come back in 15 minutes, and we'll show you the future cast. Okay, I ain't got 15 minutes. I got to get to work. I don't care what's going on in Colorado, California this morning. Stick to local. Let me get what I need and get out the door while I'm trying to get ready. I don't need to hear what's going on in Florida and South America at 6 o'clock in the morning. So get to the weather, put it out, but that's a whole nother, as you can tell. Anyway, the commercials. These big box national companies advertise relentlessly, and they charge. I worked for one for 5 years. Our service meetings were not service meetings. They were sales meetings. We had people come in and train us on how to speak to homeowners and to get them to bite on sales, bite on getting whole house air cleaners and UV lamps and crawl space care packages and all this expensive stuff, even if you didn't need it. I mean, they would actually check our invoices to see if we were recommending things. If we weren't recommending things, whether you needed it or not, we would get written up, or we would eventually, hey, you got to start. Here's the big one. If we were at a house with a system that was over 10 years or older, just to do the maintenance, homeowner has no issues, system's working fine. If that unit was 10 years or older, we were supposed to call the office and let them know, hey, I'm at a house. The unit's here 10 years old, 11 years old. The salesman there, and they were salesmen, none of them had heating and air experience. They were salesmen. Would roll by and pull in and tell the homeowner, hey, I just saw my technician over here working. I was in the neighborhood, just leaving another customer or something. I thought I'd stop by and say hello to him. But while I got you here, let's talk about your equipment. That is shady crap. That's why I quit there. I got tired of that stuff. You feel like you're stabbing the homeowner in the back. And the technicians, don't take it out on them. It's what they're required to do if they want to keep their job most of the time or stay in good standing. But they want you to, sneak in behind the homeowner when he's not expecting it and throw a sales pitch. It's we've got, had a homeowner about 2 years ago, maintenance customer. She won a Nest thermostat or something online. They sent one of those companies, whoever she got it from, sent one of them to go out. They're probably behind it to begin with, to install the thermostat for them. About 4 months later, the system quit working. She thought it was possibly related to the thermostat that they had installed, so she called them. Guy came out, said the thermostat's fine, but you've got a bad condenser fan motor, and the heat strips in your unit under the house are not working, and they need to be replaced. Quoted $1,500 for a condenser fan motor, $1,400 for a set of heat strips. And by the time he left, he had an appointment set with a salesman to come by. And that's what they do. They overprice everything so much that they tell you it's better to spend that money to get a new system than to fix it. Well, that's because they get paid commission. So the more money they take out of your house when they leave on their invoice, they get paid a percentage. So they get to set their prices based on, their revenue, basically, how much am I going to get paid. They don't get paid by the hour or get paid in a proper way that doesn't put that in their mind that I got to get out of this house with a bunch of money so I can take some home myself. So that's where all that starts. So anyway, she called us to come out for a second opinion to check it since we were doing our maintenance. So I get there, system's off. I go outside, go to the back of the house. First of all, the fan motor that was in the outdoor unit was already a universal truck stock, inexpensive motor that a lot of companies keep on the truck for situations, and they don't cost that much. They're probably a third of what the actual OEM motor, but it had already been replaced, and she had this universal motor put in the damn thing, and that's what went bad. And he quoted her $1,500 for a motor that probably most any other company, I let her know at that particular time what our pricing was for that motor, was like $605. So almost $1,000 markup. Now, when I get to the unit, I take the panel off. They have disconnected the compressor from the contactor, so nothing would run. I go into the house and check the heat strips, and they're working fine. Nothing wrong with them. Relay, sequencer, contactor, blower, everything under there is working fine. So I go in the house, after I hook everything back up, turn it on, the whole system fires right up and runs. I stayed there for probably 40 minutes watching that system, checking that motor. Never a single problem. By the time the salesman got there to replace her system that wasn't heating, it was 76 degrees in her house. And she told me this story afterwards. She politely asked him to leave and not to come back again and to lose their phone number. So that's the way a lot of those companies will operate. Those same companies here quote $2,800 I've seen to replace an evaporator coil that's under warranty. Under warranty. Maybe that's $1,200, $1,300 ballpark, because the warranty, it only covers the part. Homeowner still has to pay for the refrigerant and the labor and stuff like that, but they're charging what some people charge normally for a coil replacement that's not under warranty in an R22 system. And trying to set up, hey, you need to get an estimate on equipment that still has a part warranty on it. It's the way these companies operate. The one I worked for, we had sales meetings, nothing that had to do with anything with service. You go in, and how many units did you turn in for estimates this week? How many UV lights did you offer? How many did you sell? How many did you crawl space care package, dehumidifiers, filtration systems, your revenue on leads? You need to get that up. You need to get more appointments set for the salesman. That's what service meetings were there. It wasn't, hey, anybody got any technical issues you want to discuss? Anybody seen anything? Bulletins, information being put out? No, none of that. It was all, our names were on boards in there. You only signed up this many people for maintenance agreements. You only turned in these many leads for system replacement, because you get paid for that. The technicians get paid. We got paid $25 just for setting the appointment. Then we got 2% of the sale if the system sold. That's the technician. The salesman is going to get his percentage. And it goes on and on. I left there in 2009 or 10 maybe. They were selling systems back then, 14 SEER systems, for $12,000, $13,000. And it wasn't even high efficiency, type variable speed, invert, none of that stuff. And they go out and then they start selling you things. And that's what those companies do. And if you watch the local news here in the morning, you've seen their commercials, and it's every one of them. Not every one of them. There are a few legitimate companies, but you got to find out which ones are based locally, started here, family owned, local people here. They're not a branch of the one I work for. Had 110 locations across the country. So that's what you've got to be careful. Your money gets funneled. They charge so much, and that money gets funneled back there eventually to pay CEOs and bonuses, things like that. The local managers that run the businesses, and they get bonuses for how much revenue they can bring in. That's how those big box heating and air conditioning companies work. So research the company. Find out, hey, is this a locally owned place? Family operated place? There's some of those sprinkled in those commercials. I get that. But there's 3-4 of them that just relentlessly, commercial after commercial. If that's where you want to go, that's fine, but you're going to overpay for what you're getting. I promise you. That's not where you need to go. Stay local. Keep the money here. Keep the jobs here. Help your local businesses grow. Hire people from here. That's just the way I look at that, because I spent some time working at a place like that, and it was, it's not the technicians. Don't blame the technicians. A lot of the office employees. It's just a business strategy that starts in another state with a corporate head. And one of those companies you see on there in the morning, and those big big commercials advertising all that every morning, blowing up the morning news commercial breaks, is actually owned by a large heating and air conditioning manufacturer. I'm not going to say which one. So you've got a heating and air conditioning manufacturer that produces the equipment, and then you've got their distribution network of their service companies, and then that's how all that, I'm just telling you. So your one-man shops, your two-man shops, your 10-man, 15, 20 technicians, that's, you know, if you get the right people in your house doing the work, you can't go wrong. But you can find that in local based, home, born and raised and built and developed companies right here in the area that can do much better work than these companies can do for you at much better pricing. Much better. Easy. I don't dispute that at all. So homeowners, whether it's here in North Carolina, California, Colorado, Chicago, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, every state, anybody, try to keep your business local. Support your local businesses. All the way down to your 1 and 2 man guys. You can find guys like that small, probably give you a little bit better pricing because their overhead's not so bad. But you got to have a little bit of a network of support kind of intermingled in there too. So, you know, help out the local businesses, and don't let these national companies, they get in your door with the $69 to $59, $49 tune-up. They ain't tuning anything up. They're looking to find a reason to take you from $49 to $15,000 if they can help it. That's what they're trying to do. They try to get in your door. You let them in there, and by the time they come talk to you, you need this. Gotta set you an appointment for this, and can you pay me please? And then on to the next one. So be careful with that. You know, it is what it is. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, smash the subscribe button. I'm hearing that a lot now. But anyway, I've got a tool bag video coming up. Some other things. Maybe I can get some more service work in, get some things recorded. But it's just, I was on my lunch break. That popped into my mind. So anyway, got to get back to work. You got to love it.